Welcome to the course. I guarantee that you will discover new ways how to use the fretboard. But first, let me give you an introduction about what we will cover, in these 3 videos. So, the goal of this course is to use what you already know and build further layers on top of that knowledge. So, in this first video, we will take a look to the pentatonic scale. The reason is because this is the most general scale and everybody loves it, me too. It's just a very useful element to use when it comes to improvisation. So we will take a look to the intervals between the notes in the pentatonic scale, and we will compare it to the diagonal scale in a second video. Then you will learn all the 5 pentatonic shapes with which you can already cover a lot on the fretboard. After that, I'll explain the drawbacks of using only this type of scale if you improvise. And finally, I will introduce the neck diagram, which is, the main point of this course here. So you will get to know how it works and how it's constructed. In the further videos, you will learn all the 5 positions, and then you will discover how you can build long scales by putting the different positions together. By doing this, you will be able to use the whole fretboard in any key, because this diagram can be shifted anywhere on the neck. You will also discover how the different pentatonic positions fit within the different positions of the neck diagram. So let's get started with the first position of the pentatonic scale. As I mentioned this earlier, this is a very common scale. Most of the guitarists learn this one first because it's a very visual and easily memorizable. But what is actually a pentatonic scale? So penta means 5 from the Greek language. So there are 5 notes in the pentatonic scale. Now we can see immediately that there are 2 notes missing because a normal scale contains 7 notes. So take a look to the diagram on your screen. This is the A pentatonic scale showing the intervals between the different notes. Now let me clarify this. A semitone means 1 fret on the neck and a whole tone means 2. The first note is A. The second one is C, and as you can see, there is a whole tone and a semitone between the 2 notes. So we skip the B note here. The next note is D, and between the C and D, there is a whole tone. Let's go further. The next one is E, and there is also a whole tone between them. The next one is G, and this is the same case as at the beginning, since there is a whole tone and a semitone between the 2 notes. We skip the F note here. And finally, we arrive to the root note, and between the G and the A, there is a whole tone. Now, it's important to note that the same notes can be found in all the different pentatonic shapes. The only difference is that you start the scale from different notes, okay? So the second position pentatonic scale is a major sounding scale. You can use the pentatonic scale over minor, major, and even over dominant chords as well. Now, based on music theory, it shouldn't work over dominant chords, but it does. It does in a bluesy way. So let me show you this on the guitar. Let's say we have an A dominant 7 chord, and with this bending, so let's check all the 5 positions of the pentatonic scale. The first one looks and sounds like this. The second one, which is the C shape, looks and sounds like this. The third one, the D shape, looks and sounds like this. The fourth one, the E shape, looks and sounds like this. And finally, the last one looks and sounds like this. Now it's important to mention that the end of the position will be the beginning of the next one, as you can see on the screen. So they all fit perfectly to each other. Now let's talk about the drawbacks of using only this type of scale. So first of all, it's a vertical shape, and it's very easy to get stuck in the boxes if you don't know how to get to the next one. So as you can see here, I use this box here from the 5th till the 8th fret. How to go to the other one, I'm stuck here, okay? The second drawback is that it misses 2 notes, as we saw in the previous diagrams. So these 2 notes provide a rich characteristic and mood. And since we skip these, we cannot use those characteristics. Also, the pentatonic scale has a very strong minor sound, even if I use it over a major chord. And this is the third issue. But after a while, it can be quite boring, to use this sound and these boxes that the different positions provide. And finally, we can't use the pentatonic scale over a lot of different chords, like diminished, augmented, altered, and more. So if I summarized all of this, I would say that the pentatonic scale is a very effective way to start, but it's not the only possibility at all. So you should use it as a component of your solos, but not as your solo itself. So the neck diagram will unlock a lot of possibilities, and you won't be tied to these positions anymore. So let's check how it looks and works. It's a visual system to help you seeing the whole fretboard as a coherent system, and not as different positions of the neck. It has 5 different positions. So in order to get these positions, we have to start the same scale from different notes. So let me show you an example. In this case, we have a G major scale, but if we start the same scale from the second note, which is A, then we get the second position. If you play throughout the whole diagram, then you will cover 14 frets and 3 octaves. So it's very important to mention that the different positions can be shifted. So for example, if you play in a D major starting from the 10th fret, then you won't have enough room to play the whole scale. So in this case, the 5th position precedes the first one, the 4th precedes the 5th one, and so on. This way you can really use the whole fretboard from the very first fret till the last one. So in the next videos we will take a look to the different positions and fingerings. So stay tuned, and I will send you the next video soon. See you next time and practice well.